What's going on, everybody? This is Andre, president of TaylorMade Solutions. I am so excited because we're celebrating Small Business Week, May 5th through the 11th. And if you've seen any of the other interviews or videos, you know that we're lifting up, honoring, paying tribute, supporting, showering love on our small business owners and entrepreneurs abroad. So super excited to have my next guest, Miss Chanel Simmons of NelsTaxHelp with me today. How are you doing, Chanel?
I'm great. Just trying to, believe it or not, I'm still like powering through. There's a lot of stuff that still need to be done, even though the official tax season rush is over. So.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So again, since I know your time is precious, I will not waste any more of it. We can get right to it. So I just want to ask you a few questions. My first
Sure.
is, tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what you do, how you add value to people.
Awesome. Like I said, I have my company, NelsTaxHelp. It's in its third year. And prior to that, I used to work for the Internal Revenue Service, helping out, doing audits of small business and individuals with assets up to 10 million. And prior to that, I was a corporate tax accountant. So basically what I did was I left the government in order to service small business owners and individuals, because as we all know, the tax code is very complicated, but it's very necessary that it's done and it's done right. So that's how I basically make sure that I help people, because particularly small business owners, nothing can bring your business down faster than not knowing how to do your taxes correctly. So help make sure that you get it right, have those deductions that are rightfully yours to claim, and more importantly, that you file on time.
Absolutely. So important. So important. What's the saying? Oh, there's only two guarantees in life, which is what, like death and taxes.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
that
Yeah.
ranks really high up there. So definitely a value added in that. So thank you for your service and how you.
Welcome.
All right. So my next question for you, Chanel, is,
Mhm.
a lot of people think that to step out by faith, to start your own enterprise or become an entrepreneur, is kind of crazy in a lot of ways, because there's all that risk there's involved. There's maybe a little fear of the unknown, or what if you fail, or if it doesn't work out the way that you planned it to, and that kind of thing. So for you, kind of tell us about your journey of making that transition. Like, was that easy for you? Did you like it? Was it hard? What was that experience like?
So I'm going to do a not shameless plug. I actually wrote a book on it after my very first year, which is Asking for Success. It's available on Amazon. See, I told you, not shameless. But to summarize it, seriously, working for the IRS and doing what I do, there was no work at my current job part-time or temporarily and then start my business. I had to be 100% in, because there was a conflict of interest by me staying with the government and then wanting to do my own thing. So I knew that a year before I actually left the government. So what I did in preparation, so if that's some of you out there who might have similar situations where you kind of love the industry that you're in, but there is no way ethically where you could work on your own venture while continuing to work that W-2 wage job. What you want to do is, as soon as you know that you're very certain that you want to have your own thing going, it starts setting those pieces in place. So I got my business name registered. I started making sure, I was saving my money and picking out the softwares that I wanted, all of this while I was still working. So I was doing all the groundwork and the planning and everything. So that way, when it was time for me to leave, I could leave and I could make that hard cut from being a W-2 wage earner into being 100% an entrepreneur without having the overlap and it not being a devastating transition. So I would say that is definitely, that's the key piece of my journey that's probably a little different than other people, because other people usually rule of thumb, will stay in their job and continue to develop their business on the side and over time. Sometimes that just can't be the case. Sometimes you have to go in both feet immediately. And if that's your situation, plan earlier than just jump in and you had no plan and no preparation, because then you almost planned your failure. So the sooner you do it, the better.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is very insightful because one of the other interviews that I've done, they were talking about the magic of part time and how you kind of keep your 9 to 5, but you work your new enterprise on the side. But this is unique in that in your instance or your story, you were not afforded, I guess, that luxury, and so
No.
you saying I had to like really prepare and
Yeah.
plan and have everything going and kind of make a clean transition immediately over. So that is
Yep.
very, very insightful. So thanks for sharing that part of your journey
You're
with.
welcome.
So my next and my final question for you is, there's a lot of people that I think will be watching this and otherwise, and they're looking at you as a more seasoned uh, small business owner, somebody who's further down the journey or down the path, and they're saying, I was you years ago when you just launched or got started, but I'm afraid, or maybe, I don't know if I'm making the right choice or decision. What kind of a wisdom or advice that in your mind would you pass down to that person? Like, I almost want to say like the former you know what I mean? Like if you were talking to yourself back then, what would you tell yourself, having known what you know now?
Um, I was afraid because again, I was leaving from the federal government. Anyone who's worked either those kind of jobs or had like maybe a big corporate job, those jobs are comfortable jobs. Those are the kind of jobs you go into and you honestly can ride the wave out and just make your money and just eventually retire. You may not be happy, but your bills will be paid. Your belly full. There's no question of if you're going to get a check or not. You just ride that wave and you just do it for years and then you're done. But I knew I I had more to offer.
Mm.
I always knew I wanted to have my own company. And I also knew that I was not being fully utilized. And so if you feel that way, if anybody who's watching this, if you know that, yes, you may have a job that is comfortable and it served its purpose, because that's the other thing I want you all to know out there. All jobs, whether you hate it or not, they have a purpose. They're your training grounds. Take from them whatever skill set you needed and let them serve their purpose for where you're about to go. So, and you want to also make sure you leave on good terms because you
Mm.
never know. One of my clients, actually, one of my first clients who came to me, um, he knew of me because of work that I did 10 years ago in one of my corporate jobs. He ended up inheriting my account. So
Mm.
he knew who I was because he saw my work firsthand. So that's a lesson to you. Make sure whenever you're about to leave, you leave well. Your reputation will follow you. You have no idea how that's going to manifest itself um, on your journey. But do not be afraid. I tell people all the time, some of us, we came from backgrounds where we know what it's like to be broke. If you've ever been broke before, you've been there, done that. You know how to put your resume together and go on another job interview. In other words, you know how to fall. You was a bird in a tree. You know what it feels like when you fall.
Mm.
Get back up on the tree again and figure out how you're going to fly. Because that's all entrepreneurship is. And if you can fly, it's going to be amazing. Don't be afraid of the fall. You've been there, done that. Been broke before, had to get a job before. If you have to do it again, it'll be okay. That's fine. Give yourself the chance to go ahead and do something different. Dare to be different. And the world is limitless once you decide to dare yourself to do it. So that's what I'm going to leave you with.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing. You dropped a lot right there. So I know like people watching this will be able to go back and replay that a couple times and get a few different nuggets. And the final thing I really took away is you were kind of saying do it afraid, right? Do it afraid. Do it in spite
Yeah,
of fear or
you're
you
going to be.
right because you're gonna fail, right? And then fail
I,
forward.
I,
And probably the
I'm.
next
You well, you look. You know firsthand. Like I know, I've been doing this for a while, but I still have fears. You
mm,
know, I have goals that I set, and I'm not sure if I'm doing all the right things to meet or crush those goals. The fear will always be there. The fear fuels you, and it's going to drive you. If you do it healthy, it's going to be the thing that's going to constantly push you to just be better. So
absolutely.
it never really goes away. There's never a perfect time. It's
Look,
never going to be 100% right. it just,
the
it
hand is
just,
up. Do you see that?
it doesn't.
Look,
But,
breathe.
but, but I tell people all the time, 90% is better than zero.
Mm,
You know,
yes.
giving yourself that chance. If you're willing to work back-breaking hours for someone you don't even like, why wouldn't you do it for yourself? You
Absolutely.
know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
don't be afraid. And don't let the fear cripple you. The fear is okay, but don't let it just paralyze you from making your moves. It's going to be okay. Trust me. And if it's not, that's fine too, because you always can go back to square one, and that's fine. At least you've tried.
Right.
So
I love it. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, for Small Business Week, that is Chanel D. Simmons of Nails Tax Help. Thank you again for taking out the time.
thank you
I say
for
this all
having
the
me.
time, like being a small business owner, entrepreneur, your time is like your precious commodity. And so I appreciate you just kind of taking this moment. And so there might be people watching you saying, hey, I love her vibe, her energy, what she does. I want to figure out a way that I can get a hold to her. I want to have a conversation. Maybe I want to collaborate. Maybe they want to hire you to be a tax accountant for them. How is it the best way for somebody to go about getting in touch with you?
The absolute best way, all of that, all of my contact information, even just to plug in a quick message to me, is on NelsTaxHelp.com/contact. So it's the website, and go to /contact. So you can either schedule a one-on-one, let's meet with me, or you can call me, or you can shoot me a quick message at the bottom of the page and just say something, hey, or whatever the case may be, or have a general inquiry. So either way, that's the best way to reach me. NelsTaxHelp.com/contact.
Perfect, perfect. Chanel, again, thank you for your time. Definitely appreciate you. And thank you
Thank
for just being
you.
an awesome small business owner.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for this platform. I'm sure people are going to truly appreciate this. It's needed. Just stay encouraged, stay focused, stay faithful, and dare to dream, and dare to give yourself a chance. Dare and bet on you. That's what I'm going to leave with. Bet on yourself, because you're worth it.
Absolutely. Thank you.